Hi, welcome to Courage in Flight, or CourageTV. Our show celebrates everyday people who have taken courageous steps in their lives. I'm Dr. Thao, a communication coach for high-performance professionals, and you can find out more about me at thaocoach.com. Now today, we have a very special guest. Her name is Ingrid Parris-Hicklin. Is that right?
Exactly.
And she has been a member of Fairfax Public Access since 2012. Since becoming a member, she has produced and hosted 86 television episodes of Ingrid's World and 5 episodes of Take Charge. Ingrid has retired from Fairfax County government and as the Deputy Director for the Office of Public-Private Partnerships. And she is now a member of the Board of Directors for Fairfax Public Access, focusing on marketing and promotional development. Wow.
That's a lot, huh?
Yeah. What don't you do?
Oh, no, you're the one. You are definitely the one. What a pleasure to be here, and thank you so much. You're quite impressive. So I did all my due diligence and read a lot about you. And just, first of all, I want to start off with saying congratulations, hard work. When I saw all of your achievements, I said, that has to be my new best friend. So the question comes up is like, why did I do this show?
Right.
You know, why do Ingrid's World? So I retired from Fairfax County government. As a deputy of partnerships, I saw lots of people in Fairfax County and throughout the country of doing good. And I said that if I had an opportunity, I would try to get out the message of the importance of people doing good and emphasize that. Of course, you know, in our news media, what happens is that if it bleeds, it leads. And so that's basically what you see on television.
Yes.
And so I said, let's put out shows that celebrate people being kind, doing wonderful things, and also how they can get involved in their community. And so that has been really just my goal, to get that out and hopefully inspire people of my generation, your generation, and the next generation for service. And I think that's what it's all about, helping one another.
Yeah, and we certainly need a lot of positive news in our media, right?
Yes, it is. And, you know, for instance, when I interviewed Benita Fitzgerald, Benita is a gold medal Olympian. And so I had her on the show talking about what does it look like to become an Olympian? Now, how do you do this? And she won the gold medal in the hurdles, and she talked about that. Most importantly, she took what she learned in the Olympics, and she shares the same background of yours. She's also an engineer.
Wow, that's exciting.
How about that? So she took that same learning, and now she is a CEO of Lawyers for the Good, which is a corporation in New York City. Most importantly, most recently, Benita was in charge of the Olympics for the American team for the Olympics of 2012 and put together a track and field team about and how we won. So people say, well, how did we get over 20-some medals? And she describes how she did that. And so that gave me the opportunity to tell her story and for her to be there. So that's why I wanted to do that kind of work.
Yeah, and how did you get to know her?
Well, you know, so a part of Ingrid's World is that I actually know lots of people. So actually, I do know her. Right. I didn't know her mom. I knew her mother and her parents and stuff like that. So many of the people who that are on the show, I do also have we're friends and socialize with them, and so I just felt as if let's bring them on. So it's an opportunity for people to see what my world looks like and share that with others. The other person who I didn't know initially, but how I met them, I'm a Rotarian. I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Tyson's Corner.
Yeah.
Yes, great vehicle. Hopefully encourage people to become Rotarians. I'm former president of the club. And one of the things is that I had an opportunity meeting with Madandi, and he is a fabulous gentleman. And he put together a whole foundation to help the country of Nepal.
Wow.
And that was powerful, which actually was part of the reason why I won the Tully.
Oh,
so
yes.
did the Tully, got the Tully last year, 2018.
Well, let's show it.
And actually, I do staff productions here at FPA. And I got this one, this belongs here at FPA. This is not mine, I have mine at home. But it's exciting because with the Tully Award, they received, thousands of entries, from all over the country, internationally, and so we compete. So I felt very blessed to receive the Silver Tully Award. And we have others here that have won Tully Awards recently.
Wow.
Gold. That's Anita won a Tully Award. Actually, I think she won 2, and she also received the gold. So maybe that'll be another new guest for you. So, and I like to do lots of international work. I did with Sen Yu. I did a show with Lisa Fan, and she had an opportunity. Sen Yu was performing at the Kennedy Center, and so they came on the show. We did cuts from that performance.
So are they dancers?
They are dancers.
Okay, so your whole show was a dancing show?
Yes, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And so we had that opportunity to show that. And then I also like to show military. So I had on my show retired Colonel Lewis Wallace from the Air Force. He talked about being the attaché in Russia. He actually is very fluent in Russian, and he talked about his experience there of being a pilot as well as working at the embassy. Wow. So I like to go after lots of different, I have children on the show too. We've done things talking about bullying. We've had them at the White House, and they come back and they share their experiences. And I think that that's what it's all about, how can we get people involved? Yeah,
so when you're interviewing, and you're meeting all sorts of people, different ages, what is the common thread? Do you see there's
yes, it is. So, well, first of all, because it's Ingrid's World, I really I want to make sure that it represents how I feel about our community. And that means to say that doing good and helping one another. So when I featured the Virginia Medical Brigade, doctors from Virginia Hospital as well as Georgetown University, these were doctors that have gone to Honduras and have put in clean water areas. So that's how I'm making my selection, based upon what they're doing, because I feel as if someone will watch it and like, hey, I might get involved with clean water. And in fact, actually, that has happened because someone watched the show and they wanted to give back.
Wow. So it's a way of inspiring
Yes,
people.
It is inspiring.
People.
Yes, it really is. And to highlight the good in our community. I've had, oh goodness, Volunteer Fairfax has been on the show. At least 300 people have been on the show. Wow. That's a lot. But sometimes when I do a show, I have 2 to 3 different guests, so it's small different segments.
Right.
So it's lots of fun.
What's your most memorable segment?
Oh, that's a great question. So the most memorable one was Shai Gillard, who came on. And he talked about how when he graduated from high school, a party was given by his friends. His father had died, and his friends gave him a party, and they passed the hat so he could go to college. Oh. And he went to community college.
They passed the hat?
They passed the hat, and they put money in the hat.
Oh, I see. Okay,
so
like in
hat.
Church.
That's right, in church.
Got it.
Well, let me tell you the kind of man he is. I now meet him. He tells a story, and I'm looking at him in awe.
Yeah.
Because now He is an owner of ProJet Airlines.
Wow.
He is now a professor at Georgetown University. He's also a retired JetBlue pilot. That is the power that we all hold.
Yeah.
So when he told that story, I was like, what are you saying? Because I'm looking at the finished product.
Right.
And I don't see the young man whose friends cared so much, and they said, hey, let's put the money together and let's get him to the community college.
Right.
So that was my most memorable.
Wow. It's both the achievement that he has made, but it's also the heart of the community who's supporting him.
Exactly. One other one that I like to mention was with Lily Jessie. Lily Jessie serves on Prince William County School Board. Lily said that all she wanted to be was a maid in New York.
A maid?
Maid. But her teacher said, Lily, you're too smart to be a maid.
Right.
And of course, I'm looking at the finished product.
Yeah?
Lily Jessie, because of her teacher, did not give up on her. She went to college. Because of her teacher, she then became a teacher and then became principal of the school.
Wow.
Hello. And now she's on the school board of Prince William County.
Incredible.
So it tells you the power of our education and the power of us as individuals.
Yeah.
Let us inspire, let's get people excited.
Right.
So that's why I do this show.
I mean, sometimes you just need a rock, you know? That person who says, I believe in your potential, I believe in what you're capable of.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
I liked one of the questions that you sent me, and I just have to pause on that one. You said, what was the question about courage? Who do you find that's so courageous and that you would like to speak about that inspires you? So I love that question because no one has ever posed that question to me. And what inspires me is my grandmother and my great-grandmother. And I will tell you why. They left the island of Jamaica back in the 1920s. My great-grandfather had died in a railroad accident, and we've researched it, and he was hit by a train. He was one of the engineers and sliced in half. And so my grandmother and her mother decided that Jamaica was not the place for them to go. As a little girl, she would tell me these stories about them leaving Jamaica, and it was very difficult to come to the United States. And how, you know, they would come and then they would be denied right there, that they couldn't even get on the boat, and they would come back. And then they finally figured out that what they were going to do, they weren't going to tell anyone that they were going to be leaving. So they left, and they were admitted on the boat. And when they got to Ellis Island, my great uncle Sidney signed for them to come to the United States. And I say, what courage that took. Can you imagine leaving all that you know? And in the 1920s, we're still going. We're not that far from, you know, from freedom.
Right.
So you come to a segregated, you know, community, but you step out on faith.
Yes.
And so I remember listening to my grandmother telling those stories, and just saying, what courage. So I keep on my phone pictures of my grandmothers, because every time I say, oh my gosh, this is so hard. I pull up their picture, I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Someone has experienced harder.
I can do this.
And it's in your bloodline.
It's in my bloodline. And I look at you, when you said in your bio that you came here and spoke no English.
Right, yes.
And then how do you do this?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, so that's why I said, when I told my husband, I said, this is my new best friend.
Oh, yes.
Because I think it is, I envision a community of people who are encouraging one another, who says, yes, you can do it. I know the odds are very difficult, but you can still do it.
Yeah, and you know, my new mantra is, yes, the odds are difficult, and yes, you know, everything might go against you, And it's possible, and it could be easy. And you can do it and achieve it with joy and fun too.
I love it. Joy and fun.
Yeah.
Now we are the same, idea, because I feel, honestly, when I do these shows, I do it because it is joyful.
Right.
I feel excited, and it is fun.
Yeah.
And at this point in life, I said it has to be fun.
Yes.
Got to have a lot of joy, and also inspire people.
Yeah.
And that was the whole reason of starting the show, getting people excited about what we're doing, how they can get involved, and then hopefully they'll say, well, you know what, maybe they'll start their own show.
Right, yeah, and share their own point of views.
Exactly. So now I started a little differently. When I came here, I had no background in television. Oh my gosh. So I decided to really start from the ground up. So I didn't initially come and start a show. I took classes. I took studio package. I took directors and light works, and then I worked on a couple of shows. Worked on about 10 different shows just to see what was going on. I admire what you do. I do staff productions. Right. Yeah. So as doing that taught me that, well, I had to kind of, let's say, stay in my lane, which is being the producer and the host, but also have an appreciation about what is going on. And so that's why I prepared myself. I do feel as if there should be a commitment. I think we all need to make a commitment of being lifelong learners, because every day you should be learning how to do it. Now my latest thing, one of our guests outside, he was teaching me how to do Facebook Lives.
It's another mass communication.
It's another mass communication. So, and that's what I want to do, because I do the social media, you have all the ways that you can find me, on certainly here at Channel 10, at FPA, but then you can find me on Ingrid's World and Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn, lots of different ways to find me. But it's all about inspiring, get people excited.
Yeah. So throughout your journey, was there any moment where you were afraid to try something new? How did you overcome that?
So my friends would say to me, no, let me clarify if they were friends. No, they weren't friends, because my friends didn't say that. People I know,
okay,
so we're going to separate that. And they would say, oh, you're doing television? Well, you're retired. Do you really want to do that? I'm like, I really do want to do that. And they said, well, what do you know about television? And I said, I know nothing, but I watch television a lot. So
I have a PhD in watching television.
I watch it. And to be honest with you, I watch it critically.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta
me
watch.
too.
You gotta watch it critically.
I criticize myself for watching too much TV, and then I realize it's actually research.
Have to. But you have to, because if you watch there, you have the opportunity to see television at its best.
Right.
So if you see television at its best, that way you have an understanding and appreciation. So let's take an example. If you take a look at how my set is designed, it is designed for the Today Show. When Kathy Lee was hosting with Hold Up. So I said I liked how that was designed, so I set my set that way. My cards, when I talk right now, I have cards and I have a mug. That's from the Wendy Williams show.
Oh,
so
wow.
I watch different shows. I'm like, oh, that works.
Yeah.
So you watch it from a critical standpoint.
Right. Yes, you learn different tricks. Me too. I watched the Oprah show, Ellen DeGeneres show. How to set up the set and the lighting. How do you make it entertaining?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So yes, I watch those kinds of, shows to, get inspired from that. And then I also watch all the Housewives too. Yeah. And that's all what not to do. So
right.
For me it is. I'm like, no way. But it's entertaining, and when you see that, you'll say, oh, okay, so that's what they're doing. All right, well, I'm not going to do that, but it's nice to know that they're pushing it. you know?
Yeah, and it's always interesting to see how can you make something entertaining.
Exactly, because it has to be entertaining.
Right,
absolutely.
Even if it has no meaning at all.
It has to be entertaining, without question. So that was it.
Right, one of the challenges that I take on is, can I make something that's super boring? For example, talking about plain paper or soap. And can you make that something that everyone's like, I want to learn more. I think that's the ultimate goal, you know.
That's really good. Yeah, I would say that getting over the fear, it was that, and I'm very fortunate. I have a very strong support system. I have a fantastic husband, and he's always like, yeah, you can do it, you can do it. So I would tell you that initially when we started doing, and I had a lot of fear because, I have been, and plus on top of that, when you've been really successful in another field, and I was like, do I really want to do this and maybe fail? So, so I talked with him about it, and so I said, well, honey, I said, I'll just do 6 shows and then I'm out. So, so he says, okay, we'll do 6 shows. And of course, now we're at 86.
That's
incredible. But I think having that support network, I have great girlfriends, and who we just share with one another about some of the things that we want to do. And I feel as if, there's always new frontiers. Right. So, I have a strategic plan for the show and the things that I have to get done and where it's moving.
So. What's your next plan? So how are you going to push
so
the edge?
I'm broadening my footprint. It's like being on a show like yours and getting the word out more and doing lots of different things. So, but still tied to television. Right. But getting it out there and pushing it out to a lot of different audiences.
So
not just FBA.
It.
Yes, definitely so.
So you're exploring different ways
Absolutely.
of how bicycle to shows.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Who's your next guest? Do you have one in mind?
Oh, well, I've already recorded shows up through February of 2020. So my guests that are on, so
you're way ahead. Way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, because what happens is I do them way in advance. So on that show, I've had like Hawk's Barbecue that was on the show. They came from Richmond, Virginia, and showed me how to fix fish and barbecue. They're a 40-year-old company, restaurant, a mom, a family-owned, very exciting. I'm working on, keep my fingers crossed, working with having a general that's going to be on my show.
A general?
Oh, yeah.
So military?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
Got it.
So I'm working on that aspect of it and hoping that's going to come through, but that is a friend of mine, so we'll see how that happens. And again, it's telling those types of stories out there. On the show, you'll see next month will be a Satin Trio, which are a performance group, and they perform original music on the show.
Wow. Is this like a jazz band, or what kind of music?
Jazz. But primarily they focus on the 1940s. So it's those torch songs that, really beautiful music.
Now, are you planning to dance with your husband on this jazz show?
Oh, no. When we did that show, we had the musicians come in and they, played the instrument, and then Patrice sang. It's a beautiful show. I can't wait till it airs next month. And one of the exciting ones I had was a group of 6 children from Jack and Jill of America, and they were from Alexander Mount Vernon chapter, and they wrote a book.
The children wrote a book.
The children wrote the book
together.
Yes.
Wow.
And
That's
what
great.
A powerful book, and it was about what it is to be a teen. So that will air next month also, and the impact of being a teen, and how, which I love, how their parents have played a very strong role in forming the type of people that they are now, which are fabulous young people. So those are some of the things and how I look at it, and want to continue doing those types of shows. But I have, if you come in my office, I have a whiteboard and the shows and the dates and the times and
it's like a military.
It's a military operation. And then I move things around, say, okay, this will work with this, and that will work with that, and then I write agreements. And well, you probably said when you saw that thing come from me, you're like, what? But I actually do lots of, writing, to be able to get the right kind of show.
So what's the main takeaway you want people to get when they watch Ingrid's World?
So if you watch Ingrid's World, I promise you that you will be inspired. And that's what it's all about. It's about inspiration, it's getting you happy, and you will find something that will make you feel good. Even if it's sometimes difficult dealing with family, and mental health issues is another issue that I'm focused on. So that's what's on the air right now, dealing with mental health issues.
Wow. So how can people reach out to you?
You can reach me at ingridsworld.org. Real simple, ingridsworld.org.
And you have a website?
That's the website, ingridsworld.org. Or you can reach me on Facebook, Instagram. Have a little slide there, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and of course, FPA, my #1 place that made the Tully possible.
Yes. Fantastic. Thanks for being here with me.
Thank you.
That was really wonderful.
Continued success. You're amazing.
Thank you.
Wow. Pilot too, huh? Wow, I love it.
Thanks. And that's all the time that we have for today, folks. Ingrid's amazing, isn't she? So I hope that our show inspires you today to take the leap of faith, keep reaching for your dreams, and keep being courageous. And see you next time. This is Courage TV with Dr. Thao. Bye.